Robert.
Hey, Ben.
Thanks for joining me this morning. And I'd love to talk with you about robots and what you guys are doing with Misty Robotics. So first, can you give us a little bit of a background on you and then the team that you were working with?
Sure. Um, I started out as an attorney. I told people I practiced law for between 15 and 20 minutes before I decided that it wasn't my future. I was very fortunate to meet somebody at the firm I worked at who was involved in helping venture-backed companies. And he suggested that if I didn't want to be a lawyer, I could come and work with him. I took him up on that offer, and I've spent basically the last 35 plus years working at companies, primarily at the request of venture funds, to go in and help in some way. It could be as a member of the board or general counsel or CEO or chairman of the board of directors, lots of different things. And more recently, I've been involved in actually trying to take some of what I learned and get involved in startups.
Yeah. Okay. And then what's this latest venture you're involved with?
So I have a long time relationship with a company called Astea Solutions, which is about 135 developers in Sofia, Bulgaria, which a bunch of very, very bright people there. And when we were first introduced to Misty, we talked about whether or not their skill set would be appropriate to looking at possible uses of the robot platform. And so we decided to join together and form a new entity that we're calling Astea Robotics to take advantage of Misty, and started looking at different opportunities that match up what Misty could do and what the engineer's skills were, to see if we could find some good ideas.
Great. Yeah, speaking of some of those ideas, what attracted you to the Misty platform to begin with?
We hadn't really been thinking about it until we were first introduced to Misty. One of the investors in Misty is somebody that I've known for a while. He explained the idea of a platform, which of course got everybody thinking about, okay, if it's an advanced platform with lots of technology on board, it allowed us to think outside the box and think about all kinds of different things we could do with that. And we went through a whole series of discussions internally over a number of months based on things that we all had experience with. We talked about retail opportunities, we talked about restaurant opportunities, all kinds of restaurant opportunities. We talked about museums, actually, because a number of us are big fans of museums, and finally settled on the elder care market for a number of reasons. But many of us involved in this have elderly parents who are could be actual users of Misty in that kind of atmosphere, that kind of facility.
Yeah. So, in your wildest dreams, what would the goals of Astea plus Misty be in that elder care environment?
So we've always felt that the elder care market is it's not one thing, it's a bunch of different things. And I know some people who are involved in looking at elder care as a challenge in the country and in the world. And one in particular said to me not that many months ago that the aging population is actually a bigger potential problem than climate change. As the population ages, we're going to need to find places for people that they want to be, especially as people of my generation. We don't necessarily want to leave our homes. We looked at elder care in the home, we looked at assisted living places, we looked at independent living places, we looked at memory care places, and we realized that this was a huge problem with a lot of different challenges at different levels, and that it's really over a period of time as people age. And the idea of making something that is interactive, that collects data during normal interactions with people as they age, and then the ability to think about what that data means and how to start predicting the needs of people as they age is a huge potential opportunity and a place where we can actually do good.
Yeah. So this initial project that you're working on will collect data in these environments and provide it back to not only physicians but family members. Is that correct?
That's our idea, is the normal interaction between a person and another person, or in this case, between a person and a robot, is a perfect way to collect a bunch of data, which we can use to make their lives better, to predict the changes they're going to experience over time, to help their families have a better sense of what the needs will be over time, to let the family connect directly through the robot with people at a time like now when you can't go into a nursing home, you can't go into an elder care facility. The ability for people to communicate through a robot, all of these are very interesting opportunities for us.
Yeah, I'd imagine that is going to keep you busy for a while. Have you thought at all about after this project down the road, maybe a year or two? What could you see robots and Misty maybe particularly doing in addition to this, this work?
Well, certainly within even our space, Misty as a companion is an interesting opportunity for us. But we just think that uh, robots will play an increasingly important role in our world, in our economy. And so we're taking it one step at a time. But as I said before, we've actually explored some of these other areas with people that have specific domain expertise, many of whom think that if you just let your mind roam free, you'll be able to identify places where robots can do jobs where either people don't want to do them or it frees people up to do more important jobs. It's an interesting comment that one of our potential customers said to us not that long ago, when he said, I really don't think of robots as taking over jobs for people. I really think of it as freeing them up to do the things that they actually want to be doing and how they can do their jobs better. So that was sort of an interesting take on it. It's something that I think we'll keep looking at.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, we're here at Misty excited to have you guys as a part of the upcoming launch of the Solutions Hub. The Solutions Hub is going to be a place on our website where we can highlight people doing interesting things with Misty and the platform. Uh, is there anything else you want to tell us about, where to find you or how to follow up and know more about your work?
Well, we're still operating on sort of a quiet mode right now. We're not going to spend a bunch of money doing things like websites and branding and things like that until we have our first customer. But we're always happy to talk to people. We're always happy to share our experiences and talk about what we've done with Misty. So if they want to reach us through Misty Robotics, that would be great. And as we actually get into more things like branding and websites and things like that, we'll make them available.
Well, great, Robert. Thank you for your time today. We will be, actively watching this space to see what comes out of it from you guys. We're very excited to see that. So maybe we'll check back later this summer.
Sounds great. Thanks very much.